Evan MacMillan, also known as the Trapper, is an average speed and average terror radius killer in Dead by Daylight. His height is registered as tall, that means he can easily be seen over medium to short type of loops. The Trapper's 3 teachable perks are Agitation, waste less time getting hooks, Brutal Strength, waste less time kicking stuff, and Unnerving Presence, that one perk everyone for some reason equips on Doctor. The first playstyle is probably the most effective one, which is Lockdown. Basically, you just slam your traps everywhere where pallets and windows are, everywhere survivors can use the resources, and you just disable them from using those. Do expect to have your traps disabled a lot of times because they are in obvious places, and survivors, when they walk across them and see them, will usually take the 3 seconds to disarm your traps, but you will also deny them very important resources and usually only be counted by people holding W. Second playstyle is my favorite, which I guess I could call Sneaky, where you place your traps not directly at resources, but in between loops. You place them in patches of grass, you hide them in objects and collisions of the map, and catch survivors off guard. These traps will usually not be disarmed since they cannot be seen easily unless you inspect very closely, and they will catch survivors off guard if they attempt to loop you. However, you are still kind of counted by people just holding W against your attacks, unless you predict that and put your traps in between transitions of loops. And lastly is the playstyle I guess we could call Hybrid, where you just vary between the two. You place some of your traps on important resources like shack window or shack pallet, or in main buildings, and some others you hide around loops or transitions, so you can easily mix it up and make survivors double guess every single loop, deny them important resources but also catch them off guard. This playstyle will yield you the best results if you're playing against the average team, since while most of your traps will be disarmed during the match, you will also have traps that they just cannot see and they will step into. Good perks on Trapper consist of Corrupt Intervention to make survivors run into you. It gives you less time to set up your traps, but it also enables you to get the first chase quicker. Save the Best for Last is a very solid choice for him as well, since you will recover from attacks quicker and are less of a basic M1 killer. Pain Resonance, because it just simply gives you passive slowdown, however this can be replaced by any slowdown you really like. His own teachable perk, Brutal Strength, is very effective since people will pre-drop against you quite a bit, especially if they don't know if the loop they are currently on is trapped already. Also good, Deadman Switch, which is in my opinion just such a nice perk ever since it was buffed. You will get a good amount of value from it, especially in combination with Pain Resonance and Deadlock, because it just guarantees a bit of slowdown and a bit of extra time. There's a trend here, yes, Trapper needs those slowdown perks. Some of Trapper's best maps consist of Dead Dog Saloon. Due to the thick grass and bushes around the map, you can easily hide your traps, enabling a sneaky playstyle that we previously covered. Really good is also RPD for the lockdown, since there is a bunch of tight corridors, and unlike Larry's for example, survivors will always be forced to disarm a trap that is in a doorway. Midwich is generally just a very, very good killer map. For Trapper, however, it applies the same as RPD. It is just so good for playing lockdown, and you can even lock down separate rooms with generators in them, so no one can work on them unless you are aware. And the Red Forest is also very nice, because while the map is big, you have very, very thick grass as well where you can hide your traps, and there is not that many safe pallets that you need to trap to disable the survivors from looping them. In terms of power difficulty ranking, I give Trapper 2 out of 5 bear traps, because once you learn where to place your traps and how to corral survivors into them, there is really nothing more you can perfect about his power in specific.